One, not one,
It's
but one.
one.
One. You know, wait, I didn't know it. Hi, everybody. We're here.
What's up?
Hey,
We're
welcome.
here. How's everybody doing?
It's billions of fans.
The billions and billions of
With the billions.
fans.
Yeah, but
Now I can say it. Hi, Grumpy
Yeah,
Poo.
coming.
There we go.
Now you can say it. Yeah.
Yes,
All right.
yes.
Hey, Grumpy. Ken said hi, Grumpy Poo, before we was able to say Grumpy. Hi, Grumpy Poo. So,
Yeah.
but he was really excited that you were here.
He
Just wanted you to know.
He was so excited.
Anyhow, hey, welcome everybody to A.M.O.K, and I'm glad that you come out and spend your time with us tonight. And tonight is Consol's night, and I guess
Consols.
Yeah. Well,
Okay, I like it. Consols.
Arkansas and Consol. So it's Consol's night, and that's a wonderful, the most beautiful Pamela. And take it away.
Yay. Well, we want to say welcome first off to our guests tonight. They're all from the team Creepz Ghost Commandos. It's Adam Tillery, Alec Tillery, and Gideon Coyle. Just wanted to give them a big hello.
Hello.
Hi. Hello. Welcome
Karen
to
Whitaker asked
A.M.O.K.
if they're gone commando. I don't understand.
Just to bring that up.
I thought this was a G-rated.
I'll let them answer that question.
She's expecting an answer.
I am so lost.
We're so sorry.
I went 12. I'm sorry.
Well, we had some audio issues, so we're good now.
Oh, no.
Hello, everybody.
Yes, hello.
We're excited to be in now.
So they've missed the whole conversation.
Oh, they missed the commando mark.
That's so good. Yes.
We have to get that again.
It's all right.
You've never heard that one, have you?
Oh, if it's anything to do with Go Commando,
Mm-hmm.
maybe
Yeah.
we've heard it a couple times.
A couple of times. Yeah.
There you go, Karen. There's your answer.
Funny. Well, what can you guys tell us about yourselves and about your team?
We like to paranormal investigate, make documentaries from those paranormal investigations, and we try to add a lot of seriousness and humor and fun. Yes. We're just not all serious all the time, but we like to, whatever evidence we capture, we definitely want to show that as serious. But while we investigate, we also like to have a lot of fun with each other and bring a little bit of comedy to the paranormal side of things.
Most of us. I mean, I'm the serious one, so I'll get serious here for a little bit. We like to take a history first approach to our style. We've been around since 2008, and I think one unique thing about our team is that it's mainly just been us three. You know, you see a lot of paranormal teams that have 20 people on there and have fill-in guests and everything, and that's fine. But what works for us is we know each other. And then in recent years, we expanded to 4 members. We brought in our nephew to help with some expanded camera operations. So our goal when we're out investigating and exploring is to bring all the viewers along with us, because it's probably just going to be us 4. Mm-hmm. But we want to bring everybody along with us and get as much video as possible.
Yeah, he said it way better than I could.
Okay, well, thanks for joining us.
Yep.
We're done.
All right, there we go.
That's just
When you said fun and seriousness, one of the mottos that we kind of have is we take fun seriously.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Yeah.
There you go. So you may
That's a
use
motto
that
to
if you
live
need.
by.
Yeah.
I like it.
One of my mottos is spreading the light on the paranormal, and light meaning fun, funny. Not
the lighter side. Yeah.
Lighthearted, yes.
And that's much needed, because these nights get long, they get cold, they get draining. Really takes a lot on the human body. So yeah, why not have fun with it?
Yeah, it's like
Adrian's down there
12
going,
hours
who the
that
heck
we do
are
this?
my friends here? Who are these weird people that I hang out with?
I don't know if I have a motto.
Oh,
no, I'm sorry. I'm like, do I have a motto?
No,
I guess we say ours is common sense paranormal, but it's just I don't know. It's weird.
Oh, that's a good one too, though.
I like that one. Yeah,
I do too. For sure. Ours was always it's all connected.
I like that.
Oh, hey, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like the knee bone is connected to the shin bone.
Kind of, yeah.
Exactly.
especially when you walk into a chair.
Oh,
It all
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of ghostly screams on that one, isn't there?
Mhm.
Certainly would
When you
be.
do, yes. Especially in the
So
dark. Go ahead.
you guys have a really, really cool Facebook and a really cool YouTube page going on with a lot of your investigations on there. And out of all the places that you've been, what would you say is your favorite?
Oh,
Do you have a favorite? Is it kind
yeah.
of like picking a favorite child?
Well, it's oh my gosh, yes, it's all of them. I love them all. You almost got me.
Ah.
I would say it's really hard. I'll go first if that's okay.
Yeah, we'll go down the line
Okay.
here.
I kind of have two, just because I feel like they're. So we started back in 2008, 2009. So we've been doing this for a little bit, and I have favorite old locations or location that I've been to, and I have favorite new locations that we've recently been to. Like the first thing that comes to mind for me is I like your good traditional haunted house. Are you all familiar with McIntyre Villa?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah.
I know Ken's been there. Shaw, have you and Adrian been there?
I've not been there.
Not
no.
yet.
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
great place.
they're always open to the paranormal and enjoy having folks like us in all the time.
Stephanie's
But
great.
Stephanie is. She's a lot of fun. But what I like about her house is that, I mean, it's like I said, it's your traditional Scooby-Doo haunted mansion without all the dust and cobwebs because Stephanie keeps it super clean, and I love that. But there's so many different rooms, so many twists and turns, a basement, a first floor, second floor, third floor, hidden, maybe a hidden room off to here and there with a doorway you didn't know was quite right there. Those are my current favorites. But for
Wow.
me, I guess like a really old favorite. Gosh, I like a good, secluded, out in the middle of nowhere, abandoned building, no electricity, okay, maybe a little bit of electricity for a safety room, but something like that. So where have we been like that? I know.
My
Yeah.
favorite one was before the two buildings got deteriorated, kind of thing.
We talked about it, Belvoir.
Yes, I like that
Belvoir,
one.
Oh,
Belvoir
Belvoir
Winery.
Yeah,
that's
Yes,
cool.
Liberty,
I have-
Missouri.
we actually got in there before the whole paranormal tours happening.
We got
That was pretty
cool.
neat. That was pretty neat.
We had
Wow.
an
Yeah.
opportunity
Chance
to
to
go
do that.
there. Had an opportunity to go there back in 2007, I think it was. And I was like,
Nice.
nah. And something happened that we ended up not making the trip. And then a whole bunch of drama happened after that. And so we never did get to go. And so I'm kicking myself in the butt for not being able to make that trip. I think
'Cause ours was
I
around-
do believe it was a stupid work thing.
Oh,
But I
Oh,
like.
that always gets in the
I
way.
love getting paid. I'm a big fan of electricity.
You got to take care of your bread and butter jobs first
That's it.
before you go and do your
Absolutely.
side quests.
that is so
Oh, yeah.
true.
Belvoir was kind of an interesting place.
Yeah.
Yeah,
very
And
and we
I-
got
Yeah,
to
you've been
do
there,
it.
haven't you, Ken? Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there a couple times, especially to the winery part of it.
Mhm.
That's always the best part too. But my understanding is they only offer tours there now. Is that correct?
So here recently, it's kind of weird. My wife and I, last time we went up there, they had a really big storm come through. Like we were literally driving there while a storm was going on. It blew out some of the back windows of the winery and even of like the
Oh, wow.
nursing home and the old folks home and a little bit of the roof. And it wasn't 3 days after that, they said, all right, we got to suspend paranormal investigating operations for a little bit until we get this figured out and get, safety regulations as safe as you can be, I guess, for those older buildings. And I actually haven't heard whether or not they've continued paranormal investigations there or not. So tours, maybe, like I can see them still taking people. You can still easily access the outside of the buildings and go around them, and they can give you history tours about it. But as far as going inside, I don't know anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I'm
definitely
not sure.
changed. You've been throughout all those buildings with permission, of course.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
always
they
have to
used
have
to be able
permission.
to investigate. Yeah. They used to
I've
allow
never
it.
been there, but I know one of the guys off of our Border Town team, he had gone and he loved it. He thought it was really, really cool. I think he
For
went with
sure.
one of them that like Chip Coffee was at or something.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Chip's been there for few events that they put on. Always there with like Amy Bruni and John
Yeah.
Tinney, some sort of the Strange Escapes events that
Yes.
Amy
Yeah,
Bruni
that's
puts
what it
on.
was. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And then the whole year of 2012, we all did the tour to.
Mhm.
We helped guys.
Well, yeah, we volunteered for the
Yeah.
public paranormal investigations that they had there. We
Oh,
did that for
cool.
about 2 years, year and a half or so.
Yeah, about 2 years. Uh-huh.
It was fun.
So we got to know the all the structures there. I don't want to say intimately. That's a little too deep. We got to know the
Wow.
structures really
Fits with
well.
Commando. I mean,
Crawling in all the
Lord.
nooks and crannies.
we got yeah.
Oh, it's getting worse. It's getting worse.
Awkward.
So these guys get
course.
around, is what you're saying.
We do. Yes, we do. Get all up in there. But yeah, Gideon's right. The Belvoir really has a special place in our heart. That's kind of where we I guess kind of took our hobby to the next level and like, man, we could do this long term. We really had a good time, even though it was kind of hurting 40 not really drunk, but very high-spirited people through
Yeah.
very dangerous buildings.
Right.
So we still take those tactics today and what we learned about just how safety first is really needed, especially when you're out in a desolate area with an old abandoned building.
Exactly.
That's very true.
Rule number 1, safety first.
there's a.
Rule,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say rule number 1, history first.
That's it.
Come on. Rule number 1, family first.
Family for yeah.
Yeah, I know. So basically all those, yeah, I don't know
Depends on
which
who
one's
you're
more
talking
important than the
to.
other. Yeah. We got a lot of first rules in our group here.
You got 3
One
people,
A,
so-
one
Yeah.
B, and one C.
Right.
Yes.
Right. There's a question from the Twitch chat. Holly Reese asked, "What would be the #1 bucket list location anywhere in the world?"
Ooh.
Oh man, okay. Well, I'll kick that one off. I want to do the Winchester Mystery House in California. You know, kind of like what these guys said. We like a challenge, and I just like the challenge of a maze and just, you know, just taking on a whole wing of that building, just exploring by myself. I mean, I think that'd be great. But having these guys nearby, because first rule of safety first. But
Right.
Winchester Mystery House for me.
Nice.
You may go? I'll tell you straight up, I need to go across the pond to anywhere in England, Ireland, or Scotland. Give me an old castle that's 1,000 years old. Well, almost 1,000 years old, because castles really didn't start coming around until the what was that? The 1,000 something. Okay, I'm going into history. I'm a history buff too. I love history.
Dracula's castle. Yeah.
Dracula's castle, and is that legit Transylvania?
So,
It is.
funny story on that one. I might get a chance to go see that because my best friend is moving to Romania.
Right on.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, connection for you.
Yeah.
You're gonna hitchhike on the way out.
Might
All about
have
those
to.
contacts, man.
Yeah.
Gonna poke holes in the suitcases so we can go with her.
Sure.
Okay, so castles. Okay.
So yeah, castles are like any sort of old 1,000-year-old structure. I'm in.
What about you,
Absolutely.
Dixie?
Speaking of old structures, I would like to go somewhere like the eastern part of the United States, because that's where the history started
Yeah,
until they branched out to the west. So
good
I wouldn't
point.
mind somewhere Pennsylvania area, the eastern
Boo.
and all that.
Oh,
Boo.
I never been to up there, so I wouldn't mind going up there. And
You know, I don't.
His-
I just
history
yeah,
first.
maybe I'm too southern. I guess not that I'm a southern gentleman because I'm not really from the south. Well, I guess I was born in Miami. So you can
That's
consider
close
that.
enough.
You can consider that south.
Are you born in
but,
Miami or Miami?
But I
Boy.
never felt like an alien until I got north of the Mason-Dixon line. And I was up there for like a weekend, and I was like, man, I think the fastest I ever drove a car was headed south of the Mason-Dixon line because I couldn't wait to get back home.
How
Well,
funny.
see, anything out of A.M.O.K area is a foreign country.
Foreign
Right.
country.
Yes.
And will incite booze from me.
But Adrian already knows that I have been investigating almost all over the country. So I've been
Yeah,
to
if
Pennsylvania.
you want to find somebody
Pennsylvania's
that's
cool.
been somewhere, Ken is your person because he's really
There's
hit some really cool
places in
places.
Pennsylvania.
Awesome, yeah.
Eastern State Penitentiary.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Big old prisons are fun too.
Mhm.
Abandoned
Absolutely.
prisons. No,
That's
no longer in
speaking
use
of that, you guys
prisons.
have been to Missouri State too, haven't you?
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
I want to go say I want to go there. I've been to OSP. That was kind of cool, but and I would like to,
OSP was
and I
good.
would like to go to that other place, but not one country you talked about.
Oh, the
Pennsylvania.
east part.
Yeah.
Well,
Eastern state, but
Hey, we're
We get
I don't
you.
know if my
across
passport allow me to
across
go to
the
those countries.
Mississippi North. So what did you you say you've been to Missouri State Pen? What was your favorite area? What was the coolest thing that happened to you there?
Ooh, I would say for me, not really cool, but infamous was they had just opened it up. They invited us and another group. It was back in April or May. I think it was April 2011. And they invited us to come do an investigation there. And we were only limited to like
A-Hall.
A Hall, which is just a giant like 4-story
That's the
cell
big one,
block. The dungeon, which is underneath A Hall, and the gas chamber. I think those were the only 3 locations that we got. And I was very young and brave once, and I decided I'm going to go ahead and sit down in that gas chamber chair. I don't know if were you able to supply them with the evidence that we captured?
Yeah, they might have used, and it's out on
You
YouTube
can
for
check it out
everybody
there.
to see. But
Yeah.
he's
I sat down in the chair. I suddenly felt uncomfortable. And, at that point, I'd had a few investigations under my belt. And I was, more like, people who feel things whenever they're out investigating. That never happens. I've never seen that happen. Well, sitting down in that chair, it happened to me. And I got to say, I will never sit down in that chair again or do anything that spiritually risky again. I'm not up for it because I did not feel right afterwards after I sat down in it.
Yeah, and he didn't seem right. Gideon and I were in the observation room, just kind of, observing, but letting Adam do his own thing in the gas chamber. And, he's my brother, and Gideon, we grew up together, so we know each other very well. Adam came out of the gas chamber a different person. He was certainly affected, and it kind of, got me worried a little bit too, but it was emotional, and what he captured, just what his technology captured. He had a camera with him and a voice recorder. It confirms one of the history pieces of some of the inmates that were executed together. So if you want a mystery to solve that on your own, go for it. But just what he was able to capture really validated a piece of history, which was amazing.
That part I am happy about. So I guess that would be the cool part of it, is that we got some good evidence that correlates with history out of it.
That's pretty cool. And that's my favorite spot is the gas chamber.
And
And building the solitary confinement, which is what you're talking about underneath. Underneath
oh yeah,
the basement there. And then
cool.
now you can get into death row.
yeah, I've heard that.
I've had some amazing experiences in all of them. So it's a cool
That's
place.
Awesome. Yeah, it's definitely someplace we need to go back. It's been 13 years since we've been. It's hard to believe. It just feels like yesterday, but yeah, I'm glad that there's still a piece of amazing history in the state of Missouri. We represent the state of Kansas, but there's so many adventures in Missouri that are just worthwhile.
Well, that's what I keep trying to tell Adrian. I'm from Missouri. I'm in St. Louis, but I spend half my life over in Illinois.
Ah, boo!
But it's a foreign country. It's a foreign country. I'm going back there Saturday too, Adrian. Anyway.
So do we need to be A.M.O.K? That doesn't sound right.
That doesn't sound right. No. But no, go ahead, guys. But yeah. One new thing they've got. I was out there. I think I've been there 8-9 times. Missouri State Pen, but the last one was about 2 years ago. They now have a new building that they unearthed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So as you go through the main entrance and come out, the back, I think the women's prison is upstairs. You go to the right, and it's behind that building. It's kind of cool looking. It's just a small, low building. Almost looks like a garage to me, but it was a bunch of cells.
Man, and just dating back to probably original time of the
Yeah.
state pen. That's the best part. I mean, unearthing mysteries is kind of what we set out to do. I mean, talking about nooks and crannies, that's awesome that they did that.
Mhm.
Very cool.
That
So
is neat. Yeah.
continue on there. Where else have you guys had some fun with? You said MSP. I'm sorry, was that Adam?
Yes. So we've all been there. Yeah, I'm Adam. Yep.
Okay.
We've all been to MSP for sure. Never going to the gas chamber again. Don't need to. Done. Check.
No.
Haunted.
Off your bucket
Bucket
list.
list. That's off the
Verified.
bucket list. Okay,
Yeah.
what about the other guys? What is your favorite?
Are we still talking about bucket list or just
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, we already did our
just-
bucket list.
No, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Pam, go ahead.
No, are you talking about of Missouri State Pen, their favorite?
Just any place else.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you mentioned being from the St. Louis area. This also goes back, I think, 2010, if my memory serves me right. We had a chance to explore the Limp Mansion, and that was awesome. I'm sure you've been there many times, Ken. But the cool part about it is we were kind of just out shooting some B-roll around the factories.
The
that were
brewery
nearby.
off to the side.
That's the
Yeah.
brewery.
The brewer, yeah. And I guess
Yeah.
so we were wearing our shirts and you mentioned how do you pronounce your name? It's Creepz, but this guy walks by us and says, "Hey, what's Creepz?" And so we told him what we were doing, and he says, "Hey, I live up in the old shoe factory. Would you like to go up and get some pictures of that?" And we're like, okay, this guy looks a little sketch. But we're like, yeah, we're here.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we traveled 3.5 hours from the Kansas City area to come to St. Louis. Let's make the most of this. And he was like, well, it's going to cost you a little bit of beer money. So, all right, we'll give him a $20 bill. And he takes us up this crazy circular staircase. And it's his apartment. He lives in there. But then we're able to go in what used to be like an old shoe factory that still had machinery around. And man, that's just something I'm always going to remember. And we were just right place, right time.
And luckily you
cool.
made it out of there alive, huh?
We did.
Yeah.
Yep. Cost us
no.
20-40 bucks, but hey, we made that guy's night.
I don't know if you saw here recently within the past year, part of it collapsed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
On
did.
Yeah.
the Cherokee Street side, yes.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
That was during we had like 6 inches of rain in 2 days.
Oh
Part
man.
of the wall. I mean, it didn't. It's still everything's still standing except for that one section.
Yeah.
But when you said the shoe factory, that actually turned into the International Shoe Company after
Yes.
Billy Lamp sold it to at auction. I think it was back in 1922, I think it was,
Oh wow, heydays.
before he committed suicide. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, just an emotional experience there at Limp and the family attached and yeah, just
Mhm.
a lot of history there.
You spend time
I
at
like-
the mansion too?
Yeah, we did. We
Okay.
did.
I remember you. It was we did it. We did Dust Till Dawn because I remember the sun coming up.
Oh yeah, best
And
feeling.
we were looking at Alec was looking out the window, or I was either way. We're looking out the window, and I remember you saying something like, "Man, imagine being Mr. Limp, I guess, looking out and watching that other brewery rise and become better than, or become more popular than his own brewery."
Mhm.
Because I think Budweiser was building at the same time Limp Brewery was already
Yeah.
established.
You could see it down the hill across the highway.
They were actually built at the same time, and they were both fronts.
Mm.
Hmm.
But just, from a
Anheuser-Busch.
business perspective, just the competition that's out there. You have Limp that may be struggling for whatever reason, but then Budweiser, and they're just growing an empire. And man, that's got to take a toll on the human emotionally and,
Good point.
mentally.
Good point. Well, let's switch and let's go back over to Kansas because that's what tonight's all about. What you
Yeah,
got going
we're all
on
about
there?
kids.
Right, Pam?
That's right. So where are some of you guys' favorite places in Kansas besides McIntyre? Do you have any?
McIntyre, check, got that. Yes, we've been to the Sally House a couple times.
Yeah.
That was an interesting time. If either of y'all have been, or if anybody's been, it's a smaller house, so
Yeah.
we had the four of us there, thankfully, to investigate it one night, and four of us was comfortable. We can each go to the farthest corners possible of the house without contaminating each other's recording devices. But we were able to come out of there with some strange voices on our voice recorders that we had rolling. And I meant to provide you with those tonight, and I haven't developed them yet, but they're good. When I get them done, straight to you.
Yeah. Gideon, what about
Awesome.
you in Kansas?
Did you? So you say the Shelley House? What'd you have happen there? I have people say it's a great place. I had people say there's nothing going on there. So what's your opinion of the place?
They're both correct.
They're
Yeah.
both correct. And I know that because I live in a haunted house and they're not there. We'll go for a long time. Nothing will happen. And then we'll go through a period of time where it's like, man, just shut up for a minute. Let me get some sleep. And so I get it. But yeah, it's I've had people like really adamant. Oh, there's nothing over there. We've been there 2 times. I'm like,
I would
yeah, but
say
there's
when,
365 days in a year. So you're there
yeah.
2 of those days. No,
we
that's cool. Because that's kind
well,
of one of the
actually-
places I'd like to check out.
Yeah.
it'd be worth it. Yeah, I think it'd be worth it because I think the city of Atchison, because it's in Atchison, Kansas, I think they manage it now.
They
Yeah,
do.
the
Oh.
city has always helped.
The city does?
Yeah,
The
the
city of
city.
Atchison. It's a big attraction for their tourism department, but it has a reputation of being the scratch house. That's all my friends that went to Benedictine College, they say, "Oh, you've been to the scratch house," and
Yeah, I got scratched there.
That's great. Really?
But yeah, mine is it was usually we like to go to places around 4-ish to get set up for an hour-ish kind of thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And we were just getting set up and kind of getting cozy into the house. And then I felt this warm sensation in the back of my left side. And I didn't make a deal about it or anything. I just went to the bathroom and I lift my shirt up, and I was like, oh, there is a scratch there. And I took the picture and I showed the guys before we started investigating.
yeah, I
Was
like,
it
wow.
3
Like you said, it's a
scratches?
scratch out.
Yeah, there
It
were
was
3
just
lots.
one big scratch.
I remember
Oh,
3.
thank God.
Was it
because if
3?
it's 3, it makes it demonic.
I know the demon. Yeah, there was.
Sorry.
I remember.
Sorry, I can't help
2
myself.
2 light ones.
Two
I'm
two
sure.
light ones
In the
to-
middle.
oh. So it was just two light ones. I just
We were
remember
there.
a long scratch.
We were there. Bordertown was there in I want to say 2018, I think is
Okay.
when it was. And we had some really, at the time it was like felt like not much was going on and we were kind of apathetic about the whole thing. And we got home and it was a couple of weeks before we really started reviewing our stuff. And when we did, we were like, holy cow, why
Mhm.
didn't we realize what was happening at the time? Because we got this really interesting stuff. And at the time we were just like, you know, it was,
Yeah.
I mean, that's
It's
exactly what we
mysterious
were
like that.
Yeah, it's really strange. It's
The house can be
very
really
weird
hit and
stuff.
miss.
Yeah.
And my problem is now I've seen so much over the years that I've become kind of jaded. So most places I go to, I'm like,
Right.
And they have, I don't know if you guys know,
"Is that all
they
you got?"
stopped letting people in the basement now, I guess, too.
The
Oh, is that
base-
right?
Yeah.
Oh man, well.
I'm not joking. My team would
Yeah.
shadow person.
Yeah. Wow.
For
Yeah,
Jade.
Yeah, it's a very interesting place. We caught some really, really weird stuff there. A raccoon, the one thing that stands out in my mind, a raccoon came out of nowhere and like
Oh.
bashed itself into the window and
Oh,
knocked
man.
itself out pretty much. And we heard it. I mean,
Weird.
it scared us because it hit the house so it hit the
Yeah,
window so
that'll
hard.
startle you.
And we walked outside and it was, just, where when you first go into the house, there's like that little brick surround
Yep.
around the
Mhm.
the porch or whatever. It was, waddling off from there because it had almost knocked itself out.
Nature is
that-
scary.
It was
I
strange.
was gonna say that in itself, I mean, you don't see that happen a whole lot. So for
No.
that to happen then and there I mean,
Yeah.
Raccoons are clever too. They're not.
they wish they're food.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to
Yeah, I
just
mean-
like ram their head into a window,
Yeah.
for no reason. And there was this little bird that was there's that wrought iron set of furniture, out in the front.
Mhm.
And there was this little bird sitting there and one of our teammates, Mike, he was like, check this bird out. It's like not moving at all. And we all went out and stood around it and it just sat there just completely still. I have a picture of it. It's just not moving at all. And we're all
Wow.
completely around it. It was
Man.
weird. There was some
That reminds me when we went, I think the animal connection we can make. So we had cats, stray cats around.
Yeah.
They
Really?
kept hanging around the Sally house. Yeah.
Huh.
We're still talking about, yeah.
Strange.
And we like cats.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I mean, they aren't anything. They're just hanging out. And we looked, at the other neighbors. No cats there. No cats there. Just like 2 of them here at Sally house. So
Somebody's feeding the kitties there.
it has to be. They know it. They know that parties come in there with pizza and they throw out the crusts.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's got to be it.
They know where the suckers are, don't they?
I don't know if this is a strange little fact that I like to talk about with Sally House, and it's a history fact. The traditional image that we see of the Sally House is from the street, right?
Right.
Did y'all know that that's actually the back of the house?
I didn't
And
for
the-
the longest time, but how
Yeah.
strange is that?
Yeah. Because I think it was First Street used to be on the other side there at the bottom of the hill. So yeah, the back of the house is actually the front. And I mean, when I was told that, I immediately went to the backyard and I said, let me see this. Let me see the architecture. And it totally made sense that was the front of the house.
It does. Yeah, but it's just doesn't seem to be a well-known fact.
No,
I guess
no, it isn't.
When the river flooded really bad one time, it wiped out a whole bunch on that side. So
Yep.
they just
Must have
turned
been.
turn the houses around to the other street.
Right.
Really
Makes me
wild.
wonder how many other houses are reversed like that.
Quite
on
a
the street.
bit. I mean, there's no driveway at the Sally house. The neighbors have a driveway, but yeah, there doesn't have a driveway because it probably washed away in the river one year.
Hmm.
That is a good
Because,
point.
right down the street, there's that was it First Street or Wharf, whatever it's called there, just dead
Mhm.
ends, and you got to make a left to get back up to the main drive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's right. It's right on the water there.
Yeah, kind of on the bluff, I guess.
Atchison itself is a really cool town anyway.
That's
But
right.
It is.
So if you go down the street to Mueller's, the bar and grill there, be very careful. Stay on Second Street. Don't go First Street. You might end up in the river if you had too much to
Okay.
drink.
that's funny.
That's
Oh, gosh, other
I-
Kansas locations.
Yeah.
One of well, I'll say from our standpoint, Kansas has been really hard to find places to investigate because for a while, the Kansas Historical Society owned a lot of the older locations and they were just not into paranormal anything.
Wow.
I get that. The
Yeah.
Historical Society here in Fort Smith is all like, no, we're not.
Well,
we're
yeah,
not
because there's a
part
lot
that.
of
We
people
don't
that
want to
like
get into
to
that. Yeah.
mess up crud.
There's
I had to watch
there's
my
a
mouth.
lot that goes into it. You're exactly right. We have to be very careful, and that's why we try to be as professional and take our history first approach as much as possible and clean up after ourselves, because
Yeah.
a lot of the places we've tried to get into in Kansas is because another paranormal team has kind of messed it up for others.
Yep.
Yeah, we try to
And,
make it a point to leave a place untouched or better than we found
Yep.
it. So
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Yep. And if you're a paranormal enthusiast looking to book your own locations, please do that because it's going to help future opportunities.
well, it helps. I don't know if you guys do this. We did this a lot, especially when we were a younger team, because until you get known, your reputation doesn't precede you, right? So we
Right.
had to get we actually had letters of recommendation from clients, and we had lucky enough to get in with the museum, and they were like, oh yeah, these people are great. So when the museum says they're good, then most people are like, oh yeah, we'll let you into this place. So
Yeah.
it helps to have that.
Yeah.
It really does.
That's a
It's
really
helped
good
us
point.
too. That's a good
That's a
tag.
cool
Thank you for
idea.
sharing that.
Yeah.
Hey guys,
is
I've
awesome.
heard there's an old mansion right across the street from Sally House.
Mhm.
It's beautiful. I mean, it's like I was more drawn to that than I was to Sally.
Yeah.
No doubt.
That's a
I've not-
beautiful building.
And I've not been in the Sally House, but I've been in the front, parked out in front a couple times. But have you guys ever investigated that? Because I'm hearing stories that it's actually haunted, and it might
Yeah,
even
it's
be a
haunted.
B&B.
It
That's what I was
is.
thinking,
It's an
yeah.
active B&B. It's the Glick Mansion.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what
Glick-
it's called.
Glick,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, write that
Mhm.
down.
Yes.
We need to go to that.
It's beautiful. I mean, yeah, just to stay as a regular guest. But yeah, I mean, you look up right in the front yard of the Sally House, and it's beautifully lit. It's just a very impressive structure. A lot of history there at the
Wow.
Glick Mansion.
Holly
Oh.
Reese says from Twitch, I think the hiking, camping phrase, leave no trace, would be an appropriate rule for investigating anywhere.
Excellent
Yeah,
point.
absolutely.
Yes,
Yeah.
leave no trace.
Yep.
Boy Scouts too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh.
So any other
Um,
places that you know of? I'm sorry, Pam.
Go
No,
ahead.
you're good.
Go ahead.
In,
Go
in
ahead.
the
Yeah, go for it,
Kansas
David.
area?
The one that our dream house that is getting renovated now,
Oh my God.
that we would like to investigate is the Sour Castle.
Yes, that
Where's
place
that?
is
Yes.
so cool.
The what?
It,
Sour Castle. It's
Sour
it's
Castle.
in Kansas
Yeah.
City, isn't it?
yeah,
Kansas City,
Yeah.
Kansas, our hometown.
Yeah.
This is a community dream. It's been closed off to the
for a
public.
long time.
Still is, but
Yeah.
there's finally a government and also private investment push to renovate this beautiful Italianate castle that was basically, we've been watching it crumble for the last 10, 15 years.
Oh,
More than that, probably.
A
no.
long time, yeah.
Yeah.
They used to have events out there back in the 80s. Alec and I were just,
Yeah, I
you
know.
know, single digits at the time. Gideon wasn't born.
You're close.
But they would just have, like, you know, little festivals out there. And there's a picture of Alec and I was probably 4, he was 5, and we're standing in front of Sour Castle because that, like Alex said, has this Italianate tower to it. Really beautiful brick mansion. Of course, Alec and I look like we're part of the Adams family because we're not smiling. We're just sort of standing there in front of a house.
I'm scared.
Yeah, it was
It's a scary building.
back then. But I mean, since then, like it just, like they alluded to, it just got dilapidated over the years. And here's
Because
our
I didn't want to do nothing about it,
the
or he
owners-
didn't have money to renovate it.
Possibly, yeah.
I don't know.
You know, there's we don't want to really reflect on the drama that's kind of surrounded this because of where it's going right now.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's community perception was that the owner's just keeping it to himself and he's letting it crumble.
Oh,
And maybe that's true. I
sad.
mean, that's the perception everybody had, but you know, there was a grassroots effort. A lot of the community basically just says, hey, you know, this building's going to die. And we're going to lose it. And this is really
the architecture, the history.
the history. Anton Sauer was a very, you know, successful businessman. So luckily they've got the scaffolding around, they're repairing the bricks. It's going to take some time, but one of these days, everybody will be able, hopefully, to go in and just explore this history. Good point on Sauer.
Yeah.
If you're from the Kansas City, Kansas region, and you're born and raised here, or even been here just a few years, like the new history dude that we saw,
Yeah.
like you come to
Ah,
Kansas City, Kansas,
you
you
did not.
know, you hear the
Just
word
saying.
Sour Castle. What I missed?
Keep saying Kansas
Look at
City.
that.
It's
Well,
kind of,
yeah, you know,
it's just kind of bothering me a little bit. I know
Oh, Adrian.
you're 10 minutes away from the other town, but come on,
Yeah.
come on, come on.
No,
Just saying.
we sensed, we did our homework and we knew that there was a 49er presence in this area. So we're prepared, man.
I'm just saying.
Oh,
I'm
there
just
you
saying.
go.
I got it. All right.
All
Anyhow.
right, Adrian.
That's
Super Bowl
awesome.
Sunday. We're ready.
That is
We need to make
So-
up for that last time we got cheated.
How's that fourth quarter for you?
Sorry. Just don't celebrate too early. That's all I got.
Oh, no,
That's
no,
the only
no, no, no,
advice.
no, no. I don't start breathing until after the game. Period.
Oh, good. Yeah,
Yes, that's true.
So
for sure.
Anyhow.
so that's our
I'm sorry.
dream investigation.
That's
of Sour Castle.
investigation.
Anybody that's interested in learning more about it, Sour Castle, there's actually a Facebook page where they're following the renovation of it, and it's spelled Sauer. Isn't that correct?
SAMER. You got it.
Sour
So-
Castle. Yeah.
And one cool thing that we learned about this, about Sour Castle is, you know, this came from a guy named Randy Greaves. Adam and I attended one of his presentations at a library, and he says, you know, it may be with the tax credits that are out there, it may be less expensive to restore a building than to tear down and build a new.
Yeah.
You know, the common perception is let's tear it down and build new because it's going to be cheaper. But you have to have a building that's worthy of those credentials through the National Registry of Historic Places to qualify for that tax credit. So to get on that list, it takes some movement to get on there. And us as ghost hunters, I mean, we have that voice
Yeah.
That's
to
a
get
cool
out
looking
there.
building though.
That is.
Yeah, it's-
That
it's
building looks so
amazing.
familiar, like it was on something, and I can't think of
Yeah.
what it
Is it-
was,
but
but it's
it
something
But it looks like
familiar.
you'll fall through a floor and die and become a
will.
ghost if you
Yeah.
go there.
You will. It's very
Um,
fenced in.
And
so that's our
remark
dream
to
is
your.
to get in there. So
I'm sorry. Go ahead. That was your dream to get
No, I
in
was
there?
just saying that's our
Okay.
dream to get in there. So after it's renovated.
Right.
In remarks to the football, 5-star J Dog in Twitch says, "Oh no, the Niners! Come on, ouch! I will say I'm sorry for you because Casey has got this all the way."
Oh, it ain't over
Enough
till it's
said.
over, though. Yeah.
That's okay. That's okay.
Never
I'm used to
know.
it. I'm used to
We'll
it.
know. We'll know about 9 o'clock Sunday night. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
We'll hear Adrian
Yeah.
scream happily or in
Yeah.
frustration.
My son goes
Oh,
for the
see-
Niners too, though.
See, I've been a 49er fan since 1980, and you guys, some of you guys weren't even born. So
You're right. I wasn't.
I
Right.
was.
I was too. I was in junior high. What are you talking about?
I was in junior high. I was.
Well, no, I wasn't in junior. Was I in junior high? No, not quite. I was almost in junior.
All right.
Yeah, I was just reading about the Sour Castle too, and apparently, it was house was built in 1868,
Mhm.
and he died of tuberculosis, and so did his wife, I believe. So I'm wondering, if they died there?
Ooh.
Well,
That would be interesting to find out.
there's been several unfortunate deaths there. And you said 1868? I thought it was earlier. I thought it was
Well,
1871.
Right.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at Wikipedia right now. It
Oh,
said 18.
yeah. Wikipedia. You can't trust
It could be.
Wikipedia.
I know.
It's not an academic source.
Right?
No,
Correct.
I think there was a reported suicide in the house, and it was one of the Sours up like on the second floor bathroom. Is that, I don't want to.
So, yeah, there's so many
I feel like they
different.
confirmed that. Like I thought that was
I think he
in
mentioned that.
history, but I know for sure is that at Sour Castle. I mean, I think in the 1900s or early 1900s, 1910s, 1920s, 30s, something like that. They actually had a swimming pool on the west side of it, and unfortunately, one of the daughters or grandchildren drowned in that swimming pool. And since
Oh.
then, I think shortly after that, they filled it all in and covered it up. So I mean, it's yes, it's an icon of Kansas City. We love the building, but it also comes with a heavy history, at least a heavy family history as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's not why we want to get in there. I mean, there's a lot of positive stories too. That's what in our documentaries on YouTube, that's what we try to promote as much as possible. Like we investigated an old school in Bucyrus, Kansas, and the community loves this school building mainly because there's not much going on in Bucyrus, Kansas. It's one of your typical smaller than Wamego.
Yeah.
But the community loved this building so much, and the energy that we felt and kind of captured in there confirmed that, hey, might be an old school teacher, it might be the principal who showed up to work every day and tried to do a good job for those kids. So that's the stories we like to tell in our documentaries on YouTube.
Now that
Well,
you
our
brought
guest,
up,
our guest next week, he says the 3 most haunted places: hospitals, churches, and schools.
Mhm.
And I guess there are reasons why people are drawn to that. But schools, a lot of people have the good memories from
Yeah.
schools. So
Right.
most of the
I
schools that are investigated usually are not like the super creepy, scary. Oh my goodness, it's a ghost type thing. It's more of a fun, playful type thing. So
Yeah.
that's kind of
Yeah.
cool.
I'm glad you Bucyrus. That's actually you'd sent us a link to your YouTube video, and I don't think we're going to have time to show the whole thing, but I did pull the short too.
Yes, thank you.
So, Shaw, can you bring that up for us?
Yeah, we love your analysis on this. This has kind of been a mystery for us for the last few years, and yeah, just we always welcome opinions on what exactly our cameras captured.
Give me just a moment to get it ready. I should already had it ready. I'm sorry.
It looks like a really cool building too.
Yeah, that's neat.
Nope,
It's neat.
stop
Very
it.
wide, very long.
It wants
Do
to
you know
play
when
by
it was
itself.
built?
Do you know when?
Oh man, my history.
It was early 1900s, like
Yeah.
within the 1910, somewhere around the. No, it was probably
It
1920.
was 1920.
Oh,
It
wow.
was expanded. I think there's one original school building was 1910 around that time, and then they expanded because Bucyrus was actually it's a little south of Lewisburg or very close to Lewisburg.
Oh, okay.
But
I was going to ask you where it was because I wasn't quite sure.
it's like 45 minutes south of
Kansas City.
Yeah. I'm a librarian, so we do a
Hey,
lot of
Bliss.
trades back and forth all over this state of Kansas. And I know where Lewisburg is. I just didn't know where.
Okay.
Well, I think
Nope.
Bucyrus does have a little bitty library.
Oh. Oh.
That was a fun place too.
We're
Must
Must be
frozen.
Cyrus, yeah.
Lewisburg is.
Pretty showing
The
it.
front of the building there.
Oh wait, I'm not showing it yet. I'm working on it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good.
I'm
But we were actually
Careful
called
what you
in.
show, Shauna.
sorry.
There's businesses that operate out of this building, and we just received a message one day and said, hey, I think we have ghosts in this building that we work out of. We've always wanted some answers to this, and would you guys be willing to come in and help us find some answers to our ghost stories? And we're like, heck yeah, let's go.
So is
and help
it
these-
not used as a school anymore?
No, it had to be shut down. And that was kind of a bit of a story too. When I researched the history, it closed in like 1989.
Mhm.
And then all the students, they had to move 14 miles away to Lewisburg. And they said that the north side of the building was collapsing. And yeah, even now in 2000, when we were there just last year, there's a wear and tear, your freeze thaw happening to the north side of the building, but closed in 1989 and is still standing. So yeah, but now they operate businesses and lawnmower repair, outdoor equipment.
Oh, okay, cool.
Amazon restore.
That's cool.
So-
They're still using it.
Yeah, repurposed.
Absolutely.
All right.
Did you get it?
I'm working on. I'm trying to
We're
let it. I'm
frozen.
trying to get it to where the audience can see it. I'm.
We're frozen. We're like a
Oh, there we
like a
go.
big
There we
fish.
go. There we go.
Schools
I
are
got
pretty
it.
Schools are pretty amazing places.
Yeah,
West-
it
Yeah.
is. And there is
west
a
of that.
They just don't build schools like that anymore.
No, they don't.
no.
No,
Cool
they don't.
looking. Of course, I'm sure they were hot in the summer and cold in the
You're
winter.
paying
too,
attention to the
Oh, yeah.
chat.
All right. Ready?
Pay
Hey,
very
no,
close
we're
attention to this scene.
You can't see it. Yeah. Are you looking at? Are you looking at what I'm sharing on Zoom? Or are you looking at the?
I'm seeing that, but
I
on
see it.
the we're frozen. We
Oh.
haven't moved in a while.
You should be able to see us. See it
Yeah, we're
now.
frozen.
Is that delayed?
Yeah, well, no, we're just out. We're gone. We're technical
Because
difficulties.
it should be showing the.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
It
I'm
was-
trying to
it looked-
click on your.
It looked like it was delayed.
Oh, it was
It's-
delayed. Okay. Ready and go.
Pay very close attention to this scene. This is a scene from Caleb's
it's
point
not
of
showing
view
the
as we
sound.
prepare to head down to another level of the building that they call the dungeon. Instead of listening for potential paranormal occurrences, you'll be watching for something in one of the
and the
doorways.
sound's not important. It's basically
We are
what our
fascinated by an
cameras
apparition
captured
that
at that
appears in the
point.
glass of the
So
door.
this was actually kind of
We
an
did our
interesting
best
scene.
to
We
debunk
weren't
this
really in
image.
investigation mode at this time. The employees had actually invited a former student. He went to kindergarten there, and he was telling us about the rooms that were nearby. And, we were kind of cutting up and, being a little unruly in the hallway, I guess you could say. And Caleb, our fourth member who's not here tonight, he had the camera and he was just kind of swooping around. We didn't notice it at the time. We noticed this during analysis, but looks like we were kind of being watched by a mysterious being.
Oh, somebody was watching y'all. Oh, I didn't
Well,
know what
what's
was going on.
interesting, it's really hard to tell when you're not there, and
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I will give you guys credit because if you're interested, go watch their YouTube video on this. It's a little bit longer, and they go into detail and different camera angles, and they show the area where it was and what was actually there that it did not reflect off of. And it's really good analysis you guys do.
Well, thank you.
Good.
Yeah, that's something we
Good
wanted to be
keep up.
careful of because we don't want to assume everything's a ghost. And this, Adam and I kind of debated. We're like, man, is this something? I was like, I feel there really is something there. And Adam enhanced it. He's like, yeah, it looks like a face.
Yeah, it's odd
Wow.
looking. Sure.
That is kind of crazy because at the very end you can really see it looking in.
Mhm.
Mhm.
That's interesting. Oh,
Yeah.
good
So,
find.
a neat little place in Kansas.
Have you gone to any of the places in Wichita?
No, we talked so much about everybody at Wamigo this past weekend recommended some places, and in Wichita. I mean, I love Wichita. I go to the Doodle Diner when I can and the
Yeah.
Nifty Nut candy store, but Old Town in Wichita has a lot of historic buildings, and that's, it's only a 3-hour trip for us, and that's
Yeah.
that's
We
within our
investigated
radius.
Cowtown. And that's
Okay.
Wichita, right? So
Yes,
yeah,
that's
that's a fun
keeping it,
place.
right? That's cool.
Cowtown.
It we had a guest on last year. His name's Jason Roberts, and he works with Wichita Paranormal a lot. And I know he's worked at Wamego. You may have met him because weren't you guys at the what was it, tacos and something in Wamego
No.
last
Oh,
year?
Toto's Tacos?
Toto's
Toto's
Tacos.
Tacos?
Well, they had something tacos and something. I can't remember what it was called, but it was fun. It was funny.
Oh,
Well, wasn't it, what, was it an event that they also had at the Columbia?
Yeah.
We were not at that one,
Oh,
but I know what
okay.
you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, Jason ran that and
Oh,
at
okay.
Amigo, and I was hoping he'd be there, but I didn't see him when we were there too. But yeah, he has a lot to do with Wichita, and it sounds like a really cool place.
Yeah.
We do have a
Yes.
question for the chat here. That's asking the Creepz people, the Creepz peeps. Anyhow,
Works.
what
Works.
are your go-to paranormal equipment? What is your
Good question.
go-to equipment?
Good question. Gid, you have a favorite?
Mine.
Or do you want to think about it?
No, I really like the Ovilus
Mhm.
Yeah.
5, where it shows the conversation you'll have with the
Oh,
paranormal.
nice.
And then the basic one is the K2 meters, just to see if there's electrical around, or if not, then if it's still going off, that means that something's there, but I don't know where. But
Yeah.
those are the two.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
helped quite a bit. The
Yeah.
Ovilus and the what it's able to kind of support for what we're looking for.
And I do like your S was
Yeah, my SLS
Yeah,
camera.
I like that one too.
recently implemented an SLS camera into our weaponry, so to say. Yep. And we're not really bought into the cell phone apps that are out there, especially the ones that are connected to the internet. I have my doubts about the validity of those cell phone apps, so we kind of like to go old school. And I guess you could now consider the Ovilus and the SB7 Spirit Box to be old school in this day and age. And then Adam likes to experiment a lot with magnets.
Oh, nice. You know, I
Very
think the
nice.
apps on the phone, if you're in airplane mode, maybe. There's only been a couple of apps that I tested that won't work in airplane mode. So that has me
And that
really
ain't going to be much
skeptical right
different than
there.
using an Ovilus, because the app has got built-in stuff. The Ovilus has built-in stuff that says things. The paranormal puck here, it's got
Yeah.
built-in
yeah.
stuff. So, but yeah, it's
I
it's
just
kinda-
never understand how a ghost can go inside of an Ovilus and pick a word.
I don't see how it goes
Yeah.
from 1812 to go. Oh yeah,
That's just
I
me.
can understand
You
this
know?
computer.
So my question
Yes.
is, what do you do with magnets? How do you utilize magnets?
You put them together.
Oh,
You
Well,
put them
I
together
bet-
and pull them apart.
the way I use I try to attract ghosts.
Uh-huh.
I know it's a terrible
With
joke.
this
Try ghosts.
magnetism.
I use cellophane tape.
Oh, well, yeah,
Ghost on tape.
sure.
Ghost
Yeah.
on tape.
No, my theory with theory is that hypothetical. No, theory. We'll just go with
Yeah.
that. My theory with magnets. What are ghosts said to be made up of?
Energy.
Energy.
Energy, like an electromagnetic energy of some kind.
Yeah.
And they react to electromagnetic fields.
Mhm.
Magnetism is essentially that. So my idea is if ghosts are made up of electromagnetic energy, then maybe they can interact with the magnets themselves. So one of the inventions that I made is something called the paravane. Very similar to your weather vane that's up on top of a house, tells you which way the wind's blowing, right?
Mhm.
With this, I set 2 magnets on each end, balanced on like a tripod of some kind. And basically they're heavy enough to where if you put them in like in a hallway of an enclosed building, the breeze isn't going to blow. But if that thing starts moving, then my idea is that ghosts are walking by it, pulling the magnets as their energy moves past it.
Interesting.
So I'm hoping to catch more evidence of it. Right now, we only have one small clip where we have hours upon hours of the paravane not moving at all, of us walking by. We have that on YouTube as well, I think. And suddenly you see it move at least maybe an inch, like out of nowhere, after hours and hours and hours, and then it just kind of goes back to where it was. Very interesting footage that we have out there, but that's really the only time I've ever seen it actually do something where
But
you
that's
don't think.
but that could actually be a physical thing other than a magnetic thing, because ghosts could be over there doing this with
Shenanigans.
that, and
Yeah.
so
They
it's kind of
could
interesting.
be. Yeah.
I mean, old school, we used to use compasses.
Yes,
and you'd
same.
got
You're
magnetic
doing the
north
same
pole.
thing.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
That's
so
it.
absolutely. That's
I think there's a connection there with
Yeah.
ghosts and
Yeah.
magnets. So yeah.
Well,
that's interesting.
Good idea.
I don't think people and their for ghosts, I don't think they're electromagnetic, and I think the electromagnetic field kind of distorts the veil, so to speak, and that's how that comes through, and that's how we do that. I don't think that ghosts emit an EMF, and there'll be a lot of people might disagree with me, but I'm looking at it from a diagnostic medical professional perspective. I could take an EMF detector and I could shove it in an orifice and it won't go off, right?
Wow.
Because we are not electromagnetic. But I could put an EKG machine on me and it's going to pick it up. Why? Because I picked up the bioelectric. So it's a different kind of thing.
Mhm.
So I think you're looking at something, but I think it's not. I don't think magnets have an effect outside of our corporeal bodies, because a magnet, what it'll do, like when you do an MRI, that changes the back and forth and changes the poles from north to south, it creates a radio frequency from us. But without a body, a magnet ain't going to do that to us. So I don't know, but a magnet does affect the world around us, kind of like an EM pump would. So I think I think you're the sound theory, but then you got to build on that to make a hypothesis.
I do, for sure.
Continue on.
Yeah.
But no, but it's great that you're thinking outside of a box, or actually
Yeah.
going back to an older box, like Pam said,
Yeah.
because I used to use. I mean, I have a compass in my kit, because sometimes you can't trust electronics.
Yep.
So
Exactly
good.
it.
But I'm glad that you're trying to do something different, because so many people just, well, it was on a TV program, so I'm going to do it. So therefore, I'm going to carry my dog to all my investigations because he sees ghosts.
I'm always interested to see what
It's
other people are trying.
it's the unknown. So
It
you could
is.
just try,
I can't remember.
experiment, do whatever.
And I don't
The
know,
unknown.
whenever you talk about energy and all that, I mean, of course, Adrian, you doing what you do would know more about that kind of
I
stuff.
don't put EMF detectors in any orifice. I'm just saying. I use that as.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
just saying.
Not anymore, right?
You can take any of my EMF detector to sniff them and all that. You know.
Whoa, ew. Okay, I'm never touching your
Oh,
EMF.
Good Lord. Nobody ever, yeah. For sure.
But no,
just saying you're safe.
I kind of like the idea of what he's talking about with the magnets,
Mhm.
and I can see it.
Yeah. No, I can see it working
Yeah.
in the realm, just like I could see EMF detectors and stuff like. I mean, not EMF detectors. The EM pumps. I could see them working in that kind of realm and changing the atmosphere, so to speak.
Oh.
So you
No
need.
doubt.
You need stronger magnets. Let's get that. Now I want to do an
Yes.
investigation in an MRI suite.
Hey,
It could be interesting.
do crystal
my-
radios? Do they use magnets? Did they use magnets?
Radios.
I know what you're talking about. I've heard those are like the old school radios,
Yeah.
right? Like the original ones or something.
Correct.
Or like,
But they used
Quartz crystal radios.
to. I've heard stories that people will pick up weird sounds from nowhere using crystal radios.
Mhm.
I
And
bet.
I'm wondering if that was far, if that has a magnet in it. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I'm sure it does, because I mean, don't like most speakers in general have
Yeah.
magnets with them?
Yeah.
Well, even Thomas Edison, he believed in ghosts. Thomas
Yeah.
Edison did, because he heard some strange voices coming through his inventions.
Not Edison,
Or
Tesla.
was it
I
Hertz?
think opium
Tesla.
was.
Hertz
I
believed
think
in it, too.
opium was legal back then too. So a lot of people saw spirits.
Ooh.
Oh, it was what was it? Nikolai Tesla.
Tesla and Heinrich
Tesla.
Hertz.
Yeah.
Hertz.
Fascinating
Oh, yeah,
dude,
Hertz,
wasn't
yes.
he?
Do what?
Well, yeah,
He was a fascinating dude.
Oh, he was
Without a doubt.
absolutely fascinating, and he got gypped of so much.
He did, yeah. And you know he was onto something, because the
Oh,
second he died, all his
yeah.
information disappeared.
Oh yeah, well, because somebody stole it and used it.
They came
Kind
in and took-
Mhm.
of like a lot of
kind of-
things that happen nowadays in some places we won't talk about.
Yeah. So, what would be your best advice for someone that's interested in getting into the field?
Let's see.
What was the question?
Don't do it.
Best
No,
advice
don't
to
do
someone
it.
who wants to
The
start.
best
Run away.
advice?
Mhm.
If you're religious, stay prayed up. If you're not religious, put out good energy and good vibes.
It's a
Yep.
good one. Yeah.
Don't expect to make money. We haven't made a dime. In fact,
We've
we
Lost a lot of
donate.
money over the years.
We
Yeah.
donate more than what we
Yep.
earn sometimes, and it's a
Mhm.
very expensive hobby. But you know, it's my advice, just from personal nature, is just appreciate the history, even though there may be some dark history. Telling those stories and just documenting truth and fact, that's going to take you on a wild adventure that you're gonna, have a fun time with.
Absolutely.
And sometimes just knowing or learning the stories and actually telling them out loud
Mhm.
frees some of these. I'm thinking might freeze some of these spirits, because like, oh, really? That's what really happened, type of thing.
Mhm.
So I mean,
Yeah.
possibility.
Totally get that.
Yeah, that's right. So just we try to positively promote ghost stories as much as possible. I was blessed to go to the Queen Mary in Long Beach this past summer, and I've never been. It was a kind of a whim trip. Like, hey, we have time to make this. Let's go to a Glory Days tour. I didn't really know much about the boat except it's haunted,
Mhm.
and I came back with just a big appreciation, and I wanted to research more about the Queen Mary. So the first place I go to is YouTube. And I see all these YouTubers walking around the boat in their backwards hats and dark t-shirts, and they're talking trash on this boat. They're saying, "Man, this boat stinks. The water's dirty. These rooms are small." They were just trashing this historic boat. And in my research, this was a big war hero in the World War II. At one point, it transported 16,000 troops on that boat. I mean, just the fact that I was able to walk those decks and kind of explore the inner workings of the boat, that was just amazing. So if you have a chance to do a story or a video on a location, promote it positively.
Oh,
Yeah.
Make it
yeah.
more fun.
Respect.
Holly
for
Reese
sure.
Yes.
says, "Yep, and be respectful always."
Mhm.
Yes, yes, to the living
Yeah.
and the dead.
So, do you guys have anything interesting coming up soon?
Yeah, there might be an opportunity well, it's in a foreign land, guys. It's not Illinois, but it's Iowa.
Oh,
outside of the realm of-
boo.
I know, but
Boo.
Iowa is kind of our home away from home.
Nice and
We have
close.
some good friends in Iowa. It's the Benton County Historical Society. They're putting on an event. It's in the Cedar Rapids area, so 5 hours away from the Kansas City area. But man, our friends Katie and Josh Hopkins, they're putting on an event
Oh,
for
my
the Benton
Lord.
County Historical Society, and they do a great job. We were able to kind of crash their party last year, and yeah, it's a fun time in Cedar Rapids.
For sure.
Cool.
Awesome.
And it's this town that they put it in. I mean, we got to explore one of my favorites, like an old haunted house, but still, and also a museum. So that was part of it. We got to explore the old house. We got to explore a train depot. We got to explore a building in the old downtown area. I mean, there was a lot of places that you could go to in this very small town, and yet it had everything we needed.
Yep, we
including
found it
Awesome.
home.
Yeah.
Very
Oh,
cool.
Vinton, Iowa.
So
Yeah,
we're
and it was a
we
fun
hit a
trip for
little
all
bit
parties.
about good grief.
Yeah.
A little bit past 8 already. But I want to make sure that we let everybody know where they can find you and how they can get a hold of you. What's the best ways?
This,
Yeah.
no, no, just kidding.
Uh-uh.
You can find us at the Creepz. That's the Creepz, spelled with a Z at the end.com. That's our website. You can get us on any of the social medias, Facebook, Instagram, and even Twitter/X.
Mhm.
At Creepz GC. So Creepz Ghost Commandos, but it's Creepz GC. We do a lot of stuff. We actually don't do a lot of stuff on X, but we have it just in case you need to contact us. We do a lot of our posting on Instagram and Facebook, but more importantly, you can see all our videos if you go to YouTube and type in Creepz Ghost Commandos. And I think you can even do at Creepz GC. Is it just at Creepz?
At Creepz.
At Creepz, yeah.
Creepz.
Okay, we'll make sure we get your links in our notes after
Yeah,
this.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
YouTube,
I actually
Gonna be
already
a good-
have it on
we
the
got a lot
YouTube
of
page.
videos.
It's already.
Oh, look at you.
Oh,
Look at you.
Oh,
Like the
shot.
bomb.
And we kind of took a break from the YouTube over the last couple of years. We have investigations back in 2010, 2011 that was filmed on mini DV and high 8 tapes that we were able to get digitized, and we're analyzing those. So we're really trying to get all of our archive out there for everybody to see. It's good to see what Gideon looked like back in the day when he was a young buck. And he's you got to watch this guy Gideon when he's on an investigation. This guy, we call him our ghost magnet.
Mhm.
And I'm the only one actually saw a ghost. So
Yeah,
Oh wow,
Lucky.
he's the
nice.
chosen one.
mhm.
How did that make
with
you
with
feel?
their cousin, with their cousin at the same time.
Yeah,
In the
Oh,
house that
the Creep-
Alec and I grew up in.
Yeah.
Whoa!
So it's kind of a calling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
calling.
There's so many twists and turns in that one.
You guys were over on the other side, and then we just looked over, and there he was.
There it
So
was.
A redheaded lady, and we have no.
it was not a redheaded lady. I said it was a kind of punkish look kind of guy, like
Oh,
long red hair.
It's powerful. He always remembers his story and tells
He
you
was walking on concrete,
powerful stuff.
and their
wow.
mom was in the kitchen, so it was only two way out, and it was downstairs, and we were by the garage door. So
Yeah. And that's where our saying comes from. We always say the best ghost stories happen when you're not looking for them.
That is
Exactly.
very
That's
true.
But
you
that
didn't
is-
just turn
that
around.
is
When
true.
the camera's
That is true.
not up, and absolutely.
That is
So
very,
what-
very true.
We want to thank you guys so much for coming and
Yes,
hanging out with us. This
definitely.
has been a good
Yeah,
time.
good show. Great show.
Great
Yeah.
show.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Yeah,
I
I would
so-
encourage everybody to go to their YouTube page and check out their longer videos. They have some really good ones.
Yeah.
Really interesting evidence on there too. So
and history. You're in
And
history.
history, yes.
and history. That's the
Yes.
best part, I think.
It is the
But, yeah.
history. Oh my goodness.
So if you guys
Yep.
want to hang around for a little bit when we get off of here, we'll be backstage for a few. So
Yep,
Okay,
yep.
yeah.
All
So we
right.
And
can
then
talk
Super Bowl-
secrets about all those people that were watching.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
boy. All right. Let's see how many Chiefs fans are in the chat too. I saw a few, so thank you.
All right, Adrian, who we got coming up next week?
We have the rock and roll ghost hunter himself next week. We have Mr. Keith Age, and he's going to talk about, not only is he going to talk about his 2 events here in Arkansas this year he's going to be doing, he's also going to be talking about bourbon spirits, and I think we had something to do with something.
Oh, I think
In a
maybe.
far off land, where was that again? What was the name of that country?
Indiana.
Indiana.
Diana.
We had a great breakfast there. I know that. I
Oh, we
remember
did.
that. Anyhow, but we'll be talking with Keith Age next week, the rock and roll ghost hunter himself, and it's going to be a good time for sure.
So be
you
there
guys
or
don't wanna
be
miss it.
square.
Totally square.
All right,
All
everybody.
right.
Until next time, we'll see you guys
See you guys.
later. Bye, y'all.
Night, everybody.
All right. Bye, everybody.
And we're clear.